me pause
Okay.
it. I didn't even hear the question.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? We'll let that go because myself, I would, as the referee, I could overturn my partner's call if I had definite knowledge that there was no basket interference.
Well, so I wrote
true.
the question, and what I was searching for here, and particularly in Rule 2, is that the referee and the umpire, or the referee and the two umpires, have equal authority on the floor once the game starts. Okay, and it's not, the referee is not the end all arbiter, because the question could have been reversed, that the referee made a call and the umpire had definite knowledge, and the only thing that your partners can do is come to you and talk to you about it. If you've made a ruling, your partner could come to you and say, hey, I have definite knowledge that that ball was tipped off by white, not out of bounds by white, not by black. And then it's up to you as the ruling official to decide what to do. But the point of the question was that there is nobody out on the court that has more authority than any of the others of the officials that are out on the floor. That's the point. So the answer to the question is false.
I look at that as if you just unilaterally do that without talking to your partners, now you have a situation where these coaches are going to never believe what this guy says because they know this other guy can just overrule them. And that's what was confusing to me was now if you had said, come together and talk about it and then overrule, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Well, Paul, and that's what you said that there's someplace in the book that says that you can overrule the other official, and there's no place in the book that says that.
Okay, I thought there was something that said with knowledge, and you're right, I may be wrong, but that's where I got confused because it looked like there was something where it said if they had immediate knowledge or knowledge that the others didn't have. So anyway.
All right.
Okay. So again, the point is we're all equal out.
So is the point though that you talk about it first before a change is made? Then I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. Talk to your partner.
That's
especially if the gym is completely going crazy. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start my presentation for what I'm supposed to be covering. Is that okay, Stacy?
Yeah, I just want to ask everybody out there who actually took the quizzes or tried to, were there any other questions that Suzanne didn't address that you had issues with or you'd like the answer to or discussion about? Don't all jump in at once.
We welcome the conversation. That's what we want to be as officials and be able to talk to one another about basketball.
Okay, then I guess you're jumping into the next rules.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. What? Go ahead.
Oh, I just had a question on. Sorry, my thing.
No, you're good.
On quiz 4, it was question 9, and it was about like legal guarding position if he turns his back to avoid contact to the face. I was confused because I remember it says both in the book and like Steve had talked about how he was supposed to be facing the player he's guarding to maintain legal guarding position. So can anyone elaborate on that?
So Connor, there's a difference between obtaining and maintaining legal guarding position. So when you obtain, first obtain legal guarding position, you have to have 2 feet on the floor, inbounds, facing, your torso facing the ball handler or the opponent. But once you have obtained it, you can maintain it without continuing to face the opponent.
Okay.
You can shy away, for instance, to not get run over by a truck and still be in legal guarding position. That was the point.
Okay, thank you for that.
Good question, Connor.
All right, I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, I guess, sorry, I just have one more question and it's on quiz number 4, question 17. Oh, never mind. I misread the question. It says up to 2 steps. I thought it said just 2 steps away from the opponent. So that's my bad.
Okay. If you guys have any other questions as you go through these things, you can shoot one of us an email and we can try to help you out.
Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong slide, doggone it. All right, so I'm gonna be talking about rule 3, 5, and 9. Can everybody see my screen? Is it live?
I got it.
I can't see anybody. Everybody good, Stace?
I hope so.
Okay,
I am-
good. All
I'm
right.
good.
Yep, we're good.
Good, all right. All right, so I wanted to welcome you all, apprentices. Here's 2 pictures of me tossing the ball, one in a girls' game on the left in the 2019 state tournament, and the one on the right on the 2015 state tournament for boys. So, you know, I love basketball. It's so fun being able to get out there and especially being a player, you know, and then, I mean, I'm a grandma now. I'm out there refereeing these awesome games with lots of fans and good players. And, you know, it's an experience of a lifetime refereeing basketball. So if you love basketball, you'll like this. Yeah, you'll put up with some stuff, but that's all learning the rules, right? So rule 3 is players, substitutes, and equipment. So you have the team and the team captain, the rosters, the starters, the numbers, the substitutions, uniforms, team members, equipment, apparel, logo, trademark, reference, safety concerns, and mouth guards. So also in rule 3, I didn't know this, I didn't even pay attention that it actually came in line by line. So I apologize. There's got to be a way to turn that off. Anyway, so team and captain, each team consists of 5 players, one of whom is the captain. And a captain is the only one on the team that can address officials on interpretation or obtain essential information. So here's our rosters and starters, right? The team coaches need to provide the rosters and the starters and for the numbers to the bench. That's all they have to do is make sure that the scorer gets the numbers of the rosters. And after the 10-minute mark, a team is charged with a maximum of 1 technical foul. So we try our best to talk to coaches, make sure you get that list from them so that the scorekeeper can mark the book. So more on that, substitutions. A substitute is one who desires to enter, shall report to the scorer given his or her number. And the subs can also come in between quarters and at halftime and during timeouts. And they have to make sure that they're in position 15 seconds before. I mean, they shall report and be in position 15 seconds before the end of the intermission. So that's one thing as far as the referee, you know, one big part is managing those substitutes while you're managing the free throws at the same time. So you want to make sure that, you know, you look at the bench, make sure your subs are ready and that before the final attempt, bring them in. And usually tables will give you a sounding horn. When you do AAU, not all the time do you get a horn, but most times you do. They're pretty good about it. So, and then if a team captain can request a matchup if there's 3 or more sub players. So I don't know, it may have happened once in my referee career that a captain has done that, but it will happen.
Never happened to
And
me.
then more on substitutes. Oh, it hasn't? Yeah, younger kids mostly though. So a substitute, remember, they got to be outside the boundary line, and the substitute becomes a player once they enter the court. A player replaced may not re-enter until a tick off the clock. So teams will try to trick you at times. So it's always good to remember, you know, that before a player that was replaced can come and return to the game is that you have to have 1 second off the clock. So, and also they must wear their uniform properly. So if it's their pants are down too low, hanging on them, you know, we can ask them to pull their shorts up or tuck their shirts in, you know, we're the referees. So they need to be prepared to play while they're on the court. And then injured player, you'll hear more about that as far as injured players. That injured player needs to be replaced by another player if a coach comes out on the court, but the coach can also call a timeout to buy the player back in the game. And then if we see a bleeding player, we ask them to leave until they get it covered. So uniforms, uniforms are the biggest headache during basketball because there's so many things that the WIAA and the state and the National Federation of High School require. And, for the most part, they're all really good about it. But these days, the rules say that the home team wears white and the visiting team has a dark color. So, hopefully they will adhere to that. So for the most part, jerseys are pretty easy to, watch and make sure when you're doing a high school game. So, they have the solid colored torso, flags, patches, numbers where they're supposed to be, and there's legal numbers. So those are things that you need to know, but it's not like there's usually a veteran official working with you, and you'll learn all of these things and simple little things where you can just say, does that patch exceed the size? And then your co-official can say, no, that's good. Or say, yes, it by the way, it does exceed it. You need to take that off. So it's pretty good to be able as an apprentice official, we try to line you up with veteran officials so that you get a good start at it and you get brought up in the game to where you stick around and help us out. Basketball officiating is fun. So then you talk about team members, equipment, apparel. Does anybody have anything so far on the rules for rule number 3? Okay, well, I guess I'll keep going. So remember, the referee shall not permit any team member to wear equipment or apparel which is in his or her judgment is dangerous or confusing to other players or is not appropriate. So can a player wear a health bracelet?
No.
Okay, so if it's something that it's a bracelet that they're required, so if something happened to them on the floor, could they still wear that bracelet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what you want to do is, I don't know how they look now. I haven't had young enough players to actually see one wearing them anymore. But as long as they're taped well and there's nothing hanging, they can wear the bracelets. So we just ask them to tape it down well, so that there's nothing hanging.
I just want to double check. So that's only, is it for like their actual health? So like a Live Strong band.
Yeah.
Can they wear a Live Strong
Have
band?
you ever seen a medical bracelet? No, a medical bracelet? Have you ever seen one of those?
Yeah, he was asking if you can wear one of those rubber things around your wrist that says Live Strong, and the answer is no, because it's not.
Oh, no.
A health thing, right? It has
Correct.
to be like for your actual health. Okay.
Yep, that's right. A medical
No
bracelet.
extra
we call 'em.
designs, no extra
Yeah.
trying to look like an individual.
Is there a rule? Do you just ask them if it's for health, or you can't inspect it, can you?
Yeah, those medical bracelets have a sign on the front of it, on the top of it, where it shows it's medical. It says it too, so that if they need any medical people, they know exactly what's wrong with them. So you see it. I've mostly seen it when I did younger kids. I don't see it in high school anymore. So, there's other things you can't wear. You can't wear casts, right? A hard cast. You can't wear a brace, really hard brace, but some braces you can wear as long as they meet the guidelines. But a hard cast, there's no way you're getting in the game, right? So arm sleeves, that's a big thing. Knee sleeves, lower leg sleeves, compression shorts and tights, they're all permissible, right? But there's got to be black, white, beige, or the predominant color. So if they have a predominant color of black and they want to wear red tights, no, that's not legal. If they have a predominant color of Blue, can they wear black tights? Absolutely, because it's black, white, or beige, but the whole team has to wear the same color. So us officials, we've always fought against, all this, we fight with the players and the coaches with the sleeves and the tights, but, for the most part, it's getting a lot better. They know the rules now, so it's pretty nice. They can wear wristbands, headband, but it also has to meet the guidelines. So scoring, what's in rule number 5? Oh,
Hey,
I should
Suzanne,
ask first.
Can I cut in real quick here on the uniform
Yeah.
thing? There are some players who wear articles of clothing that are not normally permitted, but they say that they're for religious reasons. Those players, you don't get in a fight with. Just let them play with what if they say it's for a religious reason, go ahead and report it to the assigner after the game. Just say, I didn't know what to do with it, but you don't want to get in an argument with somebody about religious stuff. Just let it go.
And the other point that I would make in terms of the uniform rules is it maybe starts to become important at the JV level. When you're doing a freshman game and the uniforms don't completely match, or you're doing even a younger kid's game, a junior high school game, and they're wearing the wrong colored t-shirt, you might want to mention to the coach or the player, but you don't really need to be worried about enforcing it. So there's a difference between knowing the rules, which we're all in favor of, and applying the rules, which you probably wouldn't start doing in a uniform aspect until you get to, call it JV at high school.
Right. So, all right. So I'm going to go on the rule 5, if that's it. So scoring and timing regulations, right? Goal scoring, winning team, forfeit, protest, interrupted game, length of quarter, beginning, ending of quarter, or extra quarter. All of that's happened. I'm pretty sure I've never had an interrupted game. I've never had a protest game. And I don't believe I've had a forfeit either. So those aren't common, but they may, and due to weather, due to things out of our control, that may happen. So let's go ahead and so the extra period, timeout, stopping play, restarting the clock, timing mistakes, charge timeouts. Those are things that we think of as officials because we run the game as far as, along with our scorekeepers and our timers, we all work together. So section 1, goal. A goal is made when the live ball enters the basket from above and remains and passes through. So live ball, player shoots the ball live, ball goes through the flange, the orange cylinder, goes through the hoop, basket, the ball is dead. So remember that, live ball till the basket goes through the hoop, and then the other team has to take it out of bounds and inbounds it to be live again. So clock keeps running, but live ball, dead ball, you always got to know what that is when you're refereeing basketball. So an
I have a
untouched
question.
Sure.
So I play basketball and sometimes the refs won't, after a basket is scored, sometimes the refs won't need to touch it and then give it to the player. Like the player will just take it and pass it in. When is that okay? Like to just let the player take it and pass it in?
Yep, that's okay. Every time the ball goes through the basket and the other team takes the ball, they can grab it, inbounds the ball right away. There's no need for an official to touch the ball. Only if there's a out of bounds, a violation of a traveling, or just had a free throw. So, yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah, you want to make sure that live ball. Go ahead.
And Avi, you can look at throw-ins in Rule 7, which we'll get to in another few weeks, but that's kind of where it addresses that question.
Yep, live ball, dead ball. Yep.
Thank you.
So when you're, every once in a while, this happens, but someone from out of bounds tries to throw the ball inbounds and tries to put it through the basket. That is not legal. So, it will happen, but it doesn't happen very often. It needs to be touched by somebody inbounds before it can go through the hoop. So whether the clock is running or stopped has no influence on counting the goal. So player shoots the ball, ball's in the air, horn, still got a live ball until that ball goes through that basket. So whether the clock is running or stopped, it has no influence on the counting of the goal. Pretty exciting at the end of a game though. So scoring, successful tap, 2 points, right? Anything outside of the 19 foot 9 inches is a 3 point. Any goal from the free throw line, 1 point. And a goal scored in the wrong basket applies to the team, but does not apply to the player's point total. That's not our responsibility as a referee to make sure that point is not scored towards that player. But, if they ask, we need to answer. We need to know how to answer it. So the only infractions for which points are awarded are
I have a
goaltending.
question.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Sorry. On the last slide, when you said that the basket counts if the time is stopped or not, are you talking about like a foul like an and one situation, or like?
No, so I was talking about whether the clock is running or stopped has no influence on the counting the goal. So if I shot the basket and the horn goes off, that means the clock's not running anymore. So the clock
so like at the end of a quarter or the half.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay,
then the
okay.
ball continues and goes through the basket, so the goal is still scored. Yeah.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Good question. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, that's an exciting game when you have a 3-pointer win the game. Boy, everybody goes nuts, and that's what it keeps us coming back and doing more games because it's fun. So let's see. So goaltending by the defense or basket interference by the opponent's basket. I swear these young players are getting taller and taller, younger and younger. So, be ready when you do 9th, 10th graders, you'll have some tall young guys that can get that basket, cause that basket interference, or cause that goaltending. So it's fun. You'll see that in high school basketball here in Seattle. We have a lot of good basketball above the hoop. So let's see. Okay, so I don't know why I put that .3, I missed that, but with 0.3 on the clock. So a player is inbounding the ball or a player is shooting the free throw. If there's 0.3 seconds left on the clock, the player cannot gain control, which means hold the basketball and then try for a goal. It's impossible. So whenever you see a 0.3 left on the clock, there's no way points can be scored. So it's always good to be aware of the scoreboard and the shot clock. Make sure what time remains on the clock.
So Suzanne,
Correction to that is that.
Go ahead, Stacy.
Steve. Go ahead.
You got it. So the point there is that you can't catch it and shoot it, but you can tip it.
Yep.
So if it's 0.3 or less, in your mind, you need to be thinking the only way a goal can be scored is on a tip, not on a shot. So it is possible to score, but it only can happen on a tip.
Yep.
I had one other question. Was there,
Sure.
for the infraction of a goaltender or basket interference, was there a signal for that? I don't remember seeing that as either of those as a signal. When you call it, do you just say what it is? Or did I miss
that?
that?
Time when I've seen it, I just, typically you'll just say count 2, like you'll put your arm up and say, if let's say there was basket interference and you're going to count the score. So most people just blow their whistle and put their hand up in the air with 2 fingers down, like count 2, and then we just play on.
Well,
And
and you've
then-
stopped the clock because you've put your hand up in the air to stop the clock, and then you're putting up two fingers, and you're basically, talking to the table, making sure that they know it's a 2-point goal.
And then
Yeah.
on basket interference, how do you wave that off then?
Well, it depends on, like, if it's basket interference on offense, I'd blow my whistle and just wave it off.
Okay.
Could just kill the play, right? Because there's no possibility. I mean, if it does go in, then it goes in. But if they're there and they touch it, then it's just blow the whistle and say no basket. So goaltending's always fun, though. I've probably had both a number of times, but goaltending is exciting. The whole gym goes nuts when they see goaltending. So, you'll learn that especially if you plan on working boys basketball. Fun stuff. So the winning team is the one which accumulated the greater number of points. Pretty obvious. So here's a forfeit, protest, interrupted game. So a game shall be declared a forfeit when a team refused to play. I can't say that I've had that happen. A coach removed and nobody to replace him. There's always somebody that can step up, a parent. There's always been somebody there. So I personally, I've been on a couple games where a coach had to leave, but they were pretty good. Starting the clock, got 60 seconds to get out of the gym. Usually they understand that the rules. So a player makes a travesty of the game, but not by not complying with the request. Those are really difficult things. Those are where you talk to your partner and you work together as a crew to decide the best way to handle the game. And of course the coaches, if it involves the coaches. And then protests are allowed in Washington, and I believe they have to protest at the moment they say they're protesting. They have to mark it in the book. So protests do happen, but not very often. So if a team in which the game is forfeited is ahead, score stands. If the team is not ahead, left the T out, score will be marked as 2-0. So if the team that was the team that forfeited, then the team that wins is 2-0. So whenever a game is interrupted because of events beyond our control, that happened with the earthquake a couple of times, or once for sure in Tacoma Dome. So things like that do happen. Length of quarters, you always got to be aware of that. Doesn't matter what level you're doing. 4 quarters, 8 minutes apiece. You get 1 minute in between quarters, and generally a 10-minute halftime. So 10 minutes is pretty quick. And when you do AAU, usually it's about a 5-minute halftime. So bring your water, make sure you're hydrated when you referee on the weekends like that. So quarters can be shortened in case of emergency. I don't know if I've had that happen. So the beginning, ending a quarter or extra period, it begins when the ball is alive. So the signal or the sound indicating the time has expired means the end of the quarter, end of period. So technical fouls at the end of a quarter. So this will happen because you have some player acting up and they want to get a technical foul at the end of the second quarter. So you tee him up and you put it in the book and you shoot. Let's say that the clock has ended and it's halftime and a player gets called for a technical foul. You put it in the book, and when you start the second half, the team that was offended gets 2 shots plus the ball at midcourt. And if the arrow is still pointing, if the arrow begins the second half pointing in their direction, they don't lose their arrow. I'm pretty sure that's right. Is that right, Stacy?
I am pretty sure that's right, but I would have to check. It makes sense to me.
I agree. It's right.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, things like that happen, extra period, score tied into the game, same baskets, 1 minute. So you get, if the score is tied at the end of the game, you add 4 minutes on, and you get a 1 minute intermission between the 4 quarters and the extra period. So length is 4 minutes. College is 5. So sometimes people will say, isn't it 5? So we got to remember high school, 4 minutes. So timeout, stopping play. Okay, so it's 7:09. I'm still good on time, Stacy?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. All right. So scoring and timing regulations, timeout, stopping play. Each quarter or extra period begins when the ball is alive. So when you stop the ball on a foul, held ball violation, timeout, that stops the clock. Stop play on an injured player. Let's say where someone gets hurt, live ball, blow the whistle, clock stops. So unusual delay in getting the dead ball alive. Sometimes ball goes to the hoop, but the ball goes way outside, like maybe 50 feet away from where the court was. You can stop the clock there because there's an unusual delay. The ball is way gone. So you can stop the ball there. That's a dead ball. And then you can grant a timeout requested by a player or a head coach. So that's another stop the clock. So restarting the clock is after time has been out, clock has started. Pretty simple. Blow your whistle in between quarters or a timeout. But other than that, stop whistle on a violation. You just hold, bring the ball in on the side. Jump ball, miss free throw, throw in when legally touched. So timing mistakes. Referee may correct an obvious mistake by the timer to start or stop the clock properly. A lot of times that will happen when, people look at their devices and maybe the clock's not running. You got to blow your whistle, ask them to fix it. And then officials, usually we're the ones that ask them to help, but sometimes they ask us to help too. Like, how much time do I need to take off? Okay, so you got to figure out a good time or the amount of time that was needs to be removed. So charge timeouts, you get 3 60-second timeouts and 2 30-second timeouts. So different ones, there's 30 and then there's full. And then if you go into an extra period, each team gets an extra timeout. So in timeouts, usually you get 15 seconds prior to the start of time. And the reason for that 16-second warning is so that your substitutions are, when that 15 seconds is, so that if the subs aren't there, then they can't come in. You have to tell them, please wait. So game must have begun to honor a timeout request. That kind of sounds silly. So charge timeouts. So let's say a coach has 0 timeouts. Can he call a timeout? Oops.
Come on, somebody knows
Yes,
that.
he can. Okay, so a coach can call a timeout. 0 timeouts, that's why when you're refereeing a game and you find out they have no timeouts, you generally see the referee go up to the coach and say, all right, you have no more timeouts. So if the coach calls a timeout, we're not required to tell a coach, but we're supposed to, as in the officials' rules or guidelines. But so if a coach calls a timeout, he gets a technical foul, but he gets his timeout. So 60-second timeout. Go ahead.
My high school coach did that my senior year. He knew he was out of timeouts, but he needed to say something, so he just took a technical.
Cool.
Nice.
Most of the time it's a mistake.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's awesome. We see a lot of things when we're officials out there refereeing games, and there's a lot of heart in this game, and I just, there's a lot of things that just really surprise me but excite me at the same time about the game. So So, you know, coaches can call simultaneous timeouts. You know, one calls it, then that one's over, the next coach can call one. One can call a successive timeout. So successive timeout are granted. So if a coach says, I want a 30-second timeout, he's not done. Oh, wait, I want a 60-second, they can get a 60-second timeout as well. So it's their timeouts to use.
Can they change if they ask for a 30? Can they change it to a full without losing?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, you can't go backwards, but
What you'll want to do if a coach does that, then you want to make sure that the table understands that. So, you know, switching white coach to a 60-second timeout, full timeout, and then they'll fix it. And then usually what I do is follow up if I have an opportunity to go say, okay, you got that. They don't lose the 30. So, you know, it's good to have a rapport with the bench because they're part of the crew. So introduce yourself, say hi, you know, everybody's working for the game, you know, to make it good and a fun experience for everybody. So it's fun to say hi to people when you're out there working. You meet a lot of different people. So I was going into Rule 9, which is violations and penalties, and I didn't really know the best way to present it because you could go on and on with violations and penalties. I just went through that chapter or that rule and thought, boy, you know, I can't cover that in an hour. So we'll have to come back to this, you know, and please ask your questions, you know, throughout this Apprentice program when you have a question about, you know, certain moves, you know, was that a travel? Was that a palming the ball? You know, ask those questions because we're all here to help guide you through, you know, your career as an official. And, you know, we hope that you have fun, but we're also here to, you know, give you feedback on questions that you have. So I put down all these, put all the rules since it's coming up. Oops. So we have free throw provisions, throw-in provisions, out of bounds, travel, kick, fist, ball enters the basket from below. That's happened. Illegal dribble, jump ball. So I can show you a few of these. We can come back to them once I cover all of them. So 3 seconds, 3 seconds in the key. You've heard that. Everybody hates it, but you know, you got to call it sometimes. 10 seconds, backcourt, same there, 10 seconds backcourt, closely guarded, basket interference, goaltending, excessive swinging of the elbows and arms. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Sorry, this transition. So here's one. I got a couple clips, but you know, I don't have the volume is not working on this, and I didn't realize Steve told me. So let's look at the free throw violation. Is that a free throw violation? Does anybody know?
We don't see it.
Yeah, I still see the PowerPoint.
Suzanne, you got
Oh,
to
really?
switch the sharing of the screen. You got to switch it to VLC.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you download those all to your local machine?
No. Oh, I just lost you.
You're there. I see you.
Just
If
go
the-
back into screen share
Okay.
and pull up the VLC window, and it should show up right there.
Okay.
But if she didn't download them to her local machine to view in VLC, then
No.
that's not going to happen.
It still
No,
should
it's
work.
not gonna work. Okay, see, I don't have Zoom installed.
If you tell me which plays you want to show from that shared folder, I can probably pull them up.
Okay, yeah.
So
All right, let's do that.
let me go to my browser, and I'll go to my, let's see.
So I'll stop sharing then?
Yeah, you stop sharing. I'm going to
Okay.
go to my personal drive. Stacy.
Oh, come on.
Okay. Almost there. Um,
Not, I'm still sharing my screen, right?
Yeah.
I don't know because
Okay.
I'm not looking there anymore.
Do I need to leave
And
the meeting?
you're not sharing your screen right now.
No, I didn't think so.
All right, hold on, Suzanne, I'm almost there.
Okay.
Oh gosh, now it says that I got a notification sent to my phone and I don't have one on my phone. What the heck's going on here?
So Stacy, can you let me grab it? 'Cause I can-
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know what this,
So if you let me share my screen, I can get this.
absolutely.
Okay.
Here's your first clip.
Okay, so tell me, do you see that as a free throw violation as the rules are today? Anybody?
Let me run it again here quickly.
Can you full screen it?
Yep.
There you go. Okay, watch this. Go ahead, play it again. So watch the guy that's shooting the basket, right? This guy that the light is on, watch him step in. The ball's already gone out of the player's hands, right? Is that a violation?
I'd say no.
No.
That's right. We changed it a few years back where on the release of the ball, the player can come into the key. So the ball's gone,
Is it-
steps in.
Is it the shooter that has to wait for the ball to hit the rim before they can move?
Yep.
Okay.
Anybody outside the free throw arc, free throw line extended around the 3-point arc above that, they have to wait until it hits the rim. Same as the free throw player.
Free throw shooter, but everybody, yeah. There's two sets of rules. There's one for the free throw shooter and the players behind the arc. They have to wait, but the ones on the lane lines can go in as soon as it's released.
Yep. Right. Okay, so the next one was the next clip I had was goaltending. Or
Hang
no.
on, I just blew. Hang on one sec. I just screwed it up. My bad. Just closed out of the screen that I didn't want to close out of.
So we got 9 minutes left, Stacy. How much time do you need before we finish?
You run your 9 minutes and I'll talk for a minute. I don't think they'll care if we go 1 minute late. So yeah, just take your 9 minutes.
Okay.
Because I think
just
these
wanted to be
plays are
sure.
important to visualize what these different violations. I think it's really important.
So the next one we're going to be calling is goaltending, right? So goaltending violation. So ball's going up. Once it starts coming down off its arc, once it goes over and comes down, if a player gets it and hits it, that's a goaltending. Ball starts coming down, it goes over the cylinder, and he hits it out of there, that's goaltending.
But the
Now,
ball
I'm
has
not
to have
really
a
quite
chance.
sure about.
The ball has to have a chance to go in the basket. So if the ball is going
Yep.
up into the air, but it's the highest point is below the basket, then if somebody swats it, that's not goaltending. But it has to have
Yes,
a chance
good
to go in.
Yep. Thank you, Stacy. Good point. Okay, so now this one is goaltending. Oh, it's hard to see with it on the baud rate. Okay, let's watch it again. So one's going down with the ball, goes up.
Still on the cylinder.
Yep, ball's in the cylinder.
That's
And then the guy.
basket interference,
So that's
right?
basket
Yep.
interference.
Yes, that sure is basket interference. That's not goaltending. That's okay. So same thing, right? Player misses it. His same player goes up and throws it, tries to tap it in. You'll see that. Okay, so let's try the next one. Actually, free throw provision. Let's do that one, which is play 10. Oh, we did that. Sorry. Travel. Can you do the travel?
Yep. Just give me one sec.
You know, for all you guys that are listening in on the call here, I'm going to see if I can put these plays onto the website so you can view them with the audio that goes with them. And I think that'll help clarify a little bit of the rules. Okay.
You want the travel or the free throw provision? The travel?
Yeah, the travel. We just did the free throw just before the goaltending or basket interference.
Okay, one sec. It's coming right now. Share screen.
Oh, it's hard to watch it. So he picks the ball up. Oh, we can't. Yeah, they'll have to watch it because you can't see it. It's too slow. It's all right, Steve.
Steve, do
So
you have
there's
this on high resolution? You know, when you click on share screen, there's an option at the bottom to improve the resolution of video.
Hang on a second.
Yeah, I only have the Zoom version of it, so I don't get all those fancy features.
Well, I don't.
Was the travel supposed to be, it looked like he sort of picked up the ball, then dribbled before he
Yes.
finished the hoop? Yeah, okay. That's what I thought I saw.
All right, let's try it again. I've optimized it for the video clip.
Yeah. So he
Yeah,
has,
that's like NBA, right? They go 3 steps and run in there and try to score 2. It's like,
So you got to figure out which one is his pivot foot. And once you figure out which is his pivot foot, which I think the video highlights, he can't put that thing back down on the floor before he can pick it up, but he can't put it back on the floor before he releases the ball. So they're going to highlight his foot here, his pivot. No, they did on the previous.
You want me to go back?
Yeah, please.
yeah. There, they've got the, okay, picks the ball up.
Left foot's the pivot.
Boom. Then he
Comes
puts it
down
back
again.
down again. Yep.
It's almost like he does a little skip, right? So, you know, what's really cool about basketball now and with technology, you know, that's my field. I'm in technology, and, you know, we got youtube.com that has all these videos. You can go watch this, you know, different plays. If you go search on YouTube by refereeing basketball and plays. So, you know, take advantage of, you know, the media that's there for you out there as a new learning official. You know, see how different officials react. Watch, you know, watch those things if you're curious. And there's a lot that's out there, you know, that you can teach yourself on the internet. So, you know, use it, and you know, feel free to ask any questions throughout your journey of learning how to referee basketball, because it's a fun sport. You know, it inspires me to stay in shape year round. So there's many benefits of doing it, and, you know, going out there and giving back. You know, I know we get paid and everything, but, you know, giving back to the communities and being a part of basketball is so fun. So I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're going to be a part of the PNB way, and we're excited that you're a part of the Apprentice program. So good luck, everybody.
Okay, so we have this
Go ahead,
illegal
Steve.
dribble play.
Yeah, I got one more that you had clipped, Suzanne. So
Okay, perfect. So she stops and she dribbles again. So that does happen. So she's dribbling down. She's dribbling. And she stops. She grabs 2 hands, getting ready to pass it off. Oh,
commits a
Kind of
foul.
bunches
Then she's
it.
with the double
gets
dribbles.
and then she dribbles. That does happen. So you really got to remember, did she dribble?
Pick your poison.
Yeah, that's right. Pick your poison. So thank you, Stacy. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get those plays and probably a few others, and I'll probably create a new tab on the website because I think they'll be beneficial if you can watch them with the audio and have the person who's explaining them explain the rule to you. And if you disagree, make sure and get back to me or Steve or Suzanne or somebody, and you have all our email addresses that are on the on that website. So start a conversation, because if it doesn't look right to you, you're not going to get it right on the floor. Just figure it out now. So, so our next session is not going to be Thursday. We're all going to be eating turkey, I hope, or eating something good. And our next session is going to be next Tuesday. We're going to be going over primary coverage areas in the mechanics manual. I've assigned some pages from the mechanics manual. If you look at the class outline for the for tonight's session, you'll see the homework for the next session. So look under the Rules 2 overview, and at the bottom of the page, you're going to find the things that I want you to look at in the mechanics manual before the next time. So that'll be next Tuesday, 6:30. If you haven't gotten those first few quizzes in, please finish them up, 1, 2, and 4, because 3, 5, and 9 will be due next Thursday. So you got a bunch of them to work on. Again, see if you can look this stuff up in the book. If I reach out if you need to, but really try to make an effort to do that. And like I said, I'm going to send out this poll for to try to get the books out to the rest of you guys. Whatever majority wants, majority rules, and that's what we're going to have to do. So yeah, thanks for being here. Anybody have any questions for Suzanne or Steve? Okay.
I also wanted to highlight that if you guys are going through the quizzes and you've got questions while you're going through the quizzes, this is not a question of whether you're getting it quote unquote right or wrong. It's that you're actually understanding the rule. So feel free to ask, feel free to email me or any of the other people that are on the committee here, because we're all chomping at the bit to help you guys get involved in basketball. And frankly, it's helping us kind of scratch our itch a little bit because we're not out on the floor right now. So the next best thing we can do is kind of help you guys get started.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, everybody, have a good night. Don't eat too much turkey.
Happy
Thank
Thanksgiving.
you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank
Yeah.
you, everybody, for being here tonight.
Be
Thank
safe,
you,
guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
And you too. Thank you.
See you, Doug.
See ya.
All right.